Shalom Talmidim, Qal Perek Beit. The Qal Imperfect, Lesson 2, the forms of the strong verb. The Qal Imperfect is formed by adding certain prefixes onto the verbal stem, and sometimes by adding suffixes as well. Because all the forms have prefixes, sometimes the imperfect is called the prefix conjugation. Others call it the yiktol, because that is how the Qal Imperfect third masculine singular of qatal, our paradigm verb, will sound. Here are the forms of the Qal Imperfect for the verb qatal. Yiktol for the 3ms, 3fs tiktol, 2ms tiktol, 2fs tiktali, 1cs ektol, third masculine plural yiktolu, third feminine plural tiktolna, second masculine plural tiktolu, second feminine plural tiktolna, and first common plural niktol. Notice that unlike the Qal Perfect, the Qal Imperfect makes a distinction in the third person plural between masculine and feminine. Let's say the forms together again. Yiktol, tiktol, tiktol, tiktali, ektol. Yiktolu, tiktolna, tiktolu, tiktolna, niktol. I've color-coded the forms this time to give you some idea of what different things are going on. The forms in blue, the consonants and vowels, are the prefixes and suffixes. The vowels in red are specific to the Qal Imperfect of strong verbs, and the form in green, or the vowels in green, are... Now, here are a few things to point out about the prefixes. Notice that in the third masculine forms, both singular and plural, we have a yod as the prefix. In the first person common singular, we have an aleph, and in the first person common plural, a nun. The other 6 forms all have tavs. This sort of pattern at least helped me memorize this paradigm a little bit easier. You have a yod, 3 tavs, and an aleph. A yod, 3 tavs, and a nun. Also notice the vowels. Most of the forms have a hidik under that preformative consonant, or that prefix, while the first person common singular has a segol, principally because its prefixed consonant is a guttural, an aleph, and gutturals will sometimes do strange things with regard to vowels, right? Next, notice that we have 5 forms that have no suffix: yiktol, tiktol, tiktol, ektol, and niktol. 3ms, 3fs, 2ms, 1cs, and 1cp. The other 5 forms will have suffixes. So the second feminine singular, tiktali, the third masculine plural, yiktolu, and the second masculine plural, tiktolu, they have the same ending. And the third and second feminine plurals, tiktolna and tiktolna, have the same ending. Notice as well that we have 2 sets of identical forms. The third feminine singular and second masculine singular are identical. Both are tiktol. From the form itself, you can't tell whether it's she will kill or you, masculine singular, will kill. But from context, it's almost always very easy to tell the 2 apart. Similarly, the feminine plurals, third and second feminine plural, are identical, tiktolna and tiktolna. These forms are actually some of the least common in the paradigm, and again, usually context will help us be able to tell whether they are doing it or you are doing it, in both cases talking to a group composed solely of women. Remember, if we have a group of men and women, the masculine forms will be used. Now, remember here, the black letters are the verbal root, and this will change from one verb to the next. The blue letters and vowels are the prefixed consonants and the endings. These will not change ever. They will appear in all imperfects in all stems. So learn them, they will be your friend. The red vowels here are key features of the Qal Imperfect of strong verbs. All strong verbs in the Qal Imperfect will have a hirik under the prefixed consonant and then a shava. The green vowels are the stem vowel. This stem vowel is the most changeable vowel in the paradigm from one verb to another, as we will see in future videos. So the blue letters and vowels are the most important to memorize. They will keep on appearing in every imperfect form we see. Make them your friends, because if they're your enemies, they're going to be very, very repetitive enemies. And then the red vowels will be the next most helpful because they give us the information we need to identify the Qal Imperfect of a strong verb. And the green vowels are perhaps the least important. I encourage you to memorize this paradigm. I encourage you to be able to write it out and to be able to say it. Students in my classes will have to produce it on a test. Now, this isn't simply a form of torture that I love to impose upon people. No, the patterns of the imperfect show up so many times in Hebrew that it's helpful to learn this. The better we learn it, this paradigm, the Qal Imperfect, the easier it will be for you to recognize other imperfects as we come across them in our explorations of the Hebrew verb. Beseder? Okay?